Hello, everybody. Welcome back to your fluency test. I think this is the last fluency that you have to do on your own at home, and we will do the rest in class together. So please pay attention to the explanations. So when I give you the first fluency on the week back, you know exactly what to do. Okay, question 1. It's a workout question. We need to add these two decimal numbers. To do so, we need to line units with units. So we need to rewrite the question and write units under units. 1 second, please. Okay, there we go. So 80.5. So the units is 0. That's your tens. And that's your tenths. And then we need to find the unit under the second number. And the unit for that one is 4. So we need to put unit under unit. And the question is asking me to add. 5 add 6, 11. Carry the 1. 1 add 4, 5. Before you move on decimal point. And then 8. It's on its own. So that's finished. Question number 2. Multiplication, gelosia. I need all of you to draw gelosia boxes. If you are not used to drawing the gelosia boxes, see how I do it and then copy me. You can split the boxes diagonally, one by one. You do not have to do them all at once. Now, I draw the box 3 by 2 because I have 3 digits here and 2 on the second. Let's put the numbers on the top now. So I have 20.8, so that's the point, and 2.2. Let's multiply them now. 8 times 2, 16, and 8 times 2, 16. 0 times 2 is 0, 0 times 2 is 0. 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 2 is 4. So nice and easy now, we can add the numbers up. So I have 6, 6 add 1, 7, 1 add 4, 5, 4 adding all these zeros, it's 4. Then we need to get the decimal point. So that's where it is now. So follow the line, I'm getting the green. That's where the other one is. Follow it through. So the decimal point will be there. So the answer is 45.76. Question 3. Find the HCF of 12 and 6. So what we need to do, first of all, is write 12 and write 6. Then we have to find their factors. So factors are always in pairs. 1 with 12. 2, yes, it goes with 6. 3, does it go? Yes, it does. With 4. 5 doesn't go into 12, so that cannot be a factor. 6, it's already there. So that's how I know you have finished with 12. You move on to 6. Always start with 1 and always go in pairs. 1, 6 is 6. 2, how many 2s make you 6? 3 of them. 3 is already there. 4 doesn't go. 5 doesn't go. 6 is already there. So you have finished. It's asking you for the highest of them. And you can see that the highest is 6 because 6 appears on both of them. You just write down the highest common factor is 6. Question 4. We have here a BIDMAS question. Like Danae tells us all the time, write it down next to it. Write it down next to the question. Okay, let's go. I have brackets and I have indices. So let's do that. I will leave everything else as I see it. So 5 squared plus 2 squared is 4 times the 4 is 16 plus 7. So I worked out the sum in the bracket. Now I need to do the index. 5 squared is 25 because it's the same as 5 times 5 plus 16 plus 7. So I've done index. Do I have division and multiplication? I don't, so I move on. I have addition, so I just add them now. 25 add 16. You can write them on the side. 25 add 16. 1, carry the 1, 3, 41. So these two together make you 41, but you have to add the 7 on top. So these two together make you 48. And you know that you have finished. That's the answer to the question. Question 5, you subtracting fractions. To subtract fractions, find the LCM. We need to find the LCM of the denominator. In our case, that is 4, because we have 4 and 2 for denominators. So the lowest common multiple is 4. Step 1, we need to rewrite these fractions as top-heavy. As it is, they are now as mixed fractions, and that's not good for us. It's difficult to work out. So let's rewrite them. 2 times 4 is 8. Add the 3 is 11. 11 over 4. So this fraction is the same as that, just written differently. Now I have 1 times 2, 2. Add the 1, 3 out of 2. So this fraction is the same as that. That's step 1. Because the denominators are different, I cannot subtract them. So I need to make the denominators the same. To do so, I have to use the LCM. So I need to rewrite both of these fractions with a denominator of 4. Okay, so this fraction does not change. It was a 4, it's still a 4, so I just write the 11 on top. From this fraction, so you need to figure out how did you go from 3 over 2 to something over 4? Okay, that's times 2. So 2 times 2 gave you a 4. Whatever you do to the top, you do to the bottom. So 3 times 2 is a 6. Now that the denominators are the same, you can just subtract the numerators. 11 take away 6 is 5, and the denominator does not change. That is your answer. If you wrote it as 1 1/4, these two are equal. These are the same thing, it's just written differently. But they are both the same answer, they're both correct. Question 6. Mr. G got 4 out of 6 on the test, and Miss T got 2 out of 4. So 4 out of 6. I am just rewriting the question using maths. 4 out of 6, and Miss T got 2 out of 4. So we need to compare them. It's asking us who did better, so it's asking us to compare them. To compare fractions, we find the LCM. So the LCM of 4 and 6 is 12. Now we need to rewrite both these fractions with a denominator of 12. So let's rewrite both these fractions with a denominator of 12. You got to ask yourself, how did 6 go into 12? Well, that's times 2. Whatever you do to the top, you do to the bottom. So 4 times 2 is an 8. These two fractions are equivalent with each other. Moving on to the next one, we need to rewrite 2/4 as something out of 12. Again, you ask yourself, how did 4 go to 12? How many times you need to multiply 4 by to go to 12? So that's times 3. Whatever you do to the top, you do to the bottom. 2 times 3 is a 6. Well, now it's really easy to compare. Which one is bigger, 8 twelfths or 6 twelfths? Obviously, 8 is more than 6. Now that the denominator is the same, we can write that bigger than sign. Question 7. List all the factors of 36. It's asking us to list, so we need to do the factors as pairs to start with. So 36, 1 and 36, 2 18s are 36, 3 with 12, 4, this is a difficult question, so stick with me. 4 9s are 36, 5, well, doesn't go, 6, yes, it goes, 6 times, 7, no, 8, no, 9, it's already there, so you know you have finished. So what we need to do now, we write the list. 1 with 36, 2 with 18, 3 with 12, 4 with 9, and 6 does not need to go there twice because it's still a factor of 36, that's one of them. Question 8, 2 7s of 28. Off means multiply. So 2 7s times 28. And 28, we write it over 1 to help ourselves. We know that to multiply fractions, top, top, bottom, bottom. Before we do that, make your life simple, simplify first. So we need to see if we can divide by the same number, the numerators and denominators. So that's 7 divided by 7 leaves you with 1, and 28 divided by 7 leaves you with 4. Now look how easy it is. 2 times 4 is 8 over 1, and the answer is 8. However, if you didn't simplify, it's absolutely fine. You'd still get the same answer. 2 times 27, sorry, 2 times 28, and 1 times 7. So I'm redoing the question without simplifying. Top, top, bottom, bottom. You multiply them. 2 times 28 gives you 56. And 56 divided by 7 is 8. You still would get the same answer. It's just that the numbers are a bit bigger without simplifying. Question 9. Simplify. So we have moved on to algebra with this question. And to simplify, we need to circle them, the one that looks the same. Remember, we need to circle the ones that look the same. So 3 z's and 5 z's with the sign, they look the same to me, right? Because they're both numbers and the same letter. Then I go into a's. Well, I'm not going to go to a different color because you wouldn't have different colors. So I'm going to make squares. 2a, positive 2a, and a positive b, and I have negative 7b as well. I just noticed that. Okay, I move on to a's. Okay, I have only one a here, so that's a triangle. That's on its own. Let's just add them now. I can start with 7a's, or b or z, doesn't really matter. So let's follow the alphabet and write the 7a's first. I have a negative 7a. This one has no friends to be collected with, so I just write it as it is with the sign. Then we move on to b. I have negative 7b, so you can see this one here. Negative 7b, add 1b. Remember the number line. Again, Danae is really good at that. So just quickly do a number line for us. -4, -5, -6, and -7. And up here would be the positive numbers. So your starting point is -7. and you're adding 1. So -7 is here. You add 1, go up 1, you end it up at -6. So we write that down, -6b. We finished with b, we need to sort out the z. So we have 3z plus 5z, well, that gives us 8z's. And we have finished the question. We simplified it by collecting like terms. Question 10. Find the LCM of 5 and 6. To find the LCM, we need to write the multiples first. So let's write the multiples of 5. Multiples times tables. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, and I leave it now, see what's going to happen with 6. 6, 12, I'm doing the multiples of 6, 18, 24, 30. Okay, 30 is on both of them. I can see that, so all I need to do is circle the 30 and write down LCM is 30. Question 11. Write 64 as a product of its prime numbers. So we write 64. And when we have product of prime numbers, is the 3 thing. So we're going to break this number into 2 numbers that make it when they're multiplied. So you can go with halving, because this is an even number, you know you can halve it. Or you can go 8 times 8 give you 64. Then you ask yourself, are those primes? No. So you move on and break it further. Okay, so 2 and 4. Any of them prime? Yes, 2 is prime. You circle it. Is 4 prime? No. So 2 and 2 make you 4, and those are primes. And you circle them. But then you ask yourself, what about this other 8? Well, you have to break that down into 2 and 4 and do the same thing with it. Now the question says write 64 as a product. So you write down 64 is made out of 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Or if you want to be really smart, you say it's 6 of them. 2 to the power of 6. It's just writing it so much neater. And that question is finished. Question number 10. Estimate. To estimate, we round to 1 SF. So we count the first number and draw a line behind it. We check the number underneath, behind the line. That's a 2. 2 is not strong enough to change the 4. So remember when we did the arrows, guys, we had these arrows when we said if it's 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, stays the same. And then we said when we have a 5, a 6, a 7, an 8, or a 9, it goes up 1. So we have a 2. That means that 4 does not change. Times. We have 23.9. That's your line. 3 is not strong enough to change it, so it still is a 2 over 8. And now we just calculate. 4 times 2 is 8 over 8, and that gives us a 1. And we have finished that question. Please mark this first part. Make sure you correct it, and then we move on to the next one. Right, guys?